When installing a horizontal fire stop in a firewall, first make sure duct supports are in place before positioning a section of duct through the wall. Structural supports are usually installed by the general contractor. Be sure the duct supports have the appropriate series of torqued nuts and threaded rods. The hardware setup differs for each kind of support. Cut an opening in the wall. All four sides of the opening must be framed with non-combustible material by a general contractor. The overall opening must be within 2 to 3 inches larger than the outer diameter of the duct. The duct must be at least 1 inch away from the framed opening on all sides. For example, the duct shown here has an inner diameter of 12 inches and an outer diameter of 16 inches. So the opening in the firewall should be an 18 to 19 inch square. Next, lay the duct onto the support and adjust the supports so the duct is centered within the wall opening. Torque all nuts to 57 foot-pounds. Now it's time to install the fire plates. To install the fire plates on the back side of the wall, first apply a 1/2 inch continuous bead of STI-SSS intumescent around the edge of the first fire plate. Before pressing the fire plate onto the wall, make sure the curve of the plate is flush against the ductwork, and the edges of the plate are aligned with the edges of the opening in the wall. Be sure the top edge is level. Intumescent should come through the holes and protrude along the edges of the first fire plate. Make sure to use the appropriate hardware for each wall type. Secure the fire plate to the wall using the appropriate fasteners along the outside edge. Do not install hardware along the bottom edge of the fire plate. Next, apply a generous bead of STI-SSS intumescent around the bottom edge of the mounted fire plate. Then, apply a 1/2 inch continuous bead of intumescent around the edge of the second fire plate. Press the second fire plate to the wall with a 1 inch overlap, so the centering holes on each plate line up. Secure the overlap using 1/4 20 by 1 self-drilling sheet metal screws. Then secure the outer edge using the appropriate fasteners. Be sure to fill all visible gaps with generous amounts of intumescent. Next, apply a 3/4 inch covering of intumescent sealant to the inside of the fire plates, installed on the back side of the wall. The sealant should be smooth and without any gaps on the edges of the opening or outside of the duct. From the front side of the wall, completely fill the opening by wrapping insulation to surround the duct. Insulation will come in a roll and should be field cut to size as shown. Compress the insulation, leaving 3/4 of an inch between the edge of the insulation and the front of the opening in the wall. It is extremely important that the insulation be packed tightly with no gaps. Using intumescent, fill the 3/4 inch gap so the surface is level with the wall. The intumescent should overlap onto the wall, ensuring that there are no gaps between the edges of the opening and the duct's outer shell. Next, install fire plates onto the front side of the wall using the same method as the fire plates on the back side of the wall. This is the proper order for installing the fire plates, intumescent, and insulation. Again, be sure to fill all gaps with STI-SSS intumescent. Once the fire plates are installed on both sides of the wall, wrap the first 12 inches of duct extending from the wall on each side with 1 layer of insulation. Place the half enclosure bands around the insulation on each side and use 1/4 20 by 3/4 inch hardware to fasten the tabs on the half enclosure bands together. Loosely tighten the enclosure band screws before placing the insulation. Then, make sure to tightly pack the insulation between the duct and enclosure bands. Finally, completely tighten all the screws. This is an example of a properly installed insulated wall fire stop.